Cam Newton, he's upset. He's sore. He didn't like what some people had to say about this after being called out during that viral wedlock video. Is Cam Newton perhaps being a little sensitive? After a clip, him interviewing Dr. Bryant went viral. Give you the recap first. Here's Cam talking about his desire to have more children. Why?
A lot of people see my situation and not think that I'm not high functioning.
What situation?
Okay, so I'm not married. I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
By how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more.
By multiple women? What's the intent of this saying? Or by your wife?
I just want God to bring them.
Oh, okay.
My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. So, as you had said, Dr. Bryant, you said it, I didn't say it, I will agree. I'm just taking my time.
He's so pleased with himself. He's taking his time. But before you weigh in, we should show you Dr. Cheyenne Bryant's response, because that's the viral part. Watch this.
You're not taking your time.
I am, though.
You're being very action-based. You're not taking your time.
I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active, okay? So you're creating, and disclaimer, the kids are innocent, they are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears, but you will selfishly create broken families. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there. Those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear. And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior. To say that I'm gonna build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't gonna create a home in them. I'm gonna wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife where I'm still gonna be fearful with, because there's no such thing as not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody. And then I'm gonna build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely unfair and that's selfish. Compartmentalizing hurts everybody involved. Everybody who's in this box and that box and this box and that box and this box. And then here you go over here trying to figure out what box you're gonna feed or entertain or do. Then you're looking outside to figure out who's your next victim to put in the box. It's unhealthy.
With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show.
I make no judgments. People get married if they want to. It's a choice. I make no judgment about children born out of wedlock. But I can understand what the doctor's saying here. She's saying relationships, marriages are about vulnerability. You never know what's going to happen in the future. Do you love, do you trust, do you respect? Can you be vulnerable with this person and placing an aspect of your life in their hands as you form this union and decide to have children as products, perhaps, of it? I get what she's saying, and I'm not, again, make no judgment about it. So how did Cam feel about what she had to say? He spoke freely, and then so did his guest, the doctor, Dr. Bryant. Well, days after Newton was roasted online about the clip on his YouTube page, a portion of the interview was posted on the account with the title, quote, "You're a 41-year-old relationship coach, but you're still single, question mark." Cam Newton and Dr. Bryant debate. So Cam attacked her. He attacked the good doctor who he invited on his program for rendering her opinion, giving her response. Despite the actions of a few Black celebrities, on average, Black fathers are more involved in their children's lives than others. And look, we don't know how involved he is, but the doctor made a good point. When you have 8 children, 3 different women, presumably different households, and you are, in her view, selfishly making a decision. I think on Thursdays, I think I'm going to watch football. I won't go to any of the houses. On Tuesday, I'm going to go over here and hang with this kid or that kid and their siblings. They can't necessarily hang together. That's the point she's making. Think of everything and not just perhaps yourself. CDC study found that Black fathers who live with their children were more likely than white or Hispanic fathers to bathe, change, or dress their children every day. More likely to eat meals with their children every day, more likely to help their children with their homework every day, negative stereotypes notwithstanding. Landmark CDC National Health Statistics report revealed that when it comes to Black fathers who live with their children, a surprising 70% remain more involved across a range of nurturing and involvement activities. That's compared with their white counterparts, 60%, Hispanic, 45%. Urban News with the details there. For me, this is several issues. I've explained some of them. I'm open to all kinds of relationships and thinking for other people, not myself, but you do you, boo. But I do think we have to consider if the focus is on the well-being of children and making sure they're safe, happy, secure in their emotions as best we can. Can't always do that. You do have to consider access to you and your access to them and their access to each other. But the other issue is, here we are again. You asked the lady to come on and talk about relationships, Cam. Presumably you wanted to do that and you wanted her to speak freely. So why are you attacking her? And it's not just to go viral. He felt it. People came at him. Yes, they did. And I don't really like that part. Why so sensitive, Mr. One-time NFL quarterback?
Yeah, I will give him credit for saying out loud that he's afraid of what he's afraid of. But also my initial reaction to seeing the clip was, just grow up. Like you're afraid of getting a divorce, just get over it, just commit. And I'm not saying, like you said, that marriage is for everyone. And I fully respect people's right to not get married if they so choose, or to not have children if they so choose. And I'm also not saying that families cannot function outside of the traditional sense, but just because they can function non-traditionally doesn't necessarily mean it's the best option for everyone involved. And by that, I mean specifically for the children. And those stats that you just, or the thing that you just read about how, children benefit from having the father in the house, living with them every day, like that's case in point, right? And if he's already got 3 babies' mamas, his attention is already split between 3 separate families. His children are already living with less paternal attention than we know they need, right? This has been studied extensively, especially when they're young. And it just feels irresponsible. And it's just because he's afraid of divorce. And yeah, like divorce, I imagine it sucks. It's expensive. It's emotionally distressing. It's disruptive. But if your life comes to that, then just deal with it. Be an adult and deal with it. You'll be okay. You'll get through it, but at least you tried. And that said, you can still commit to a family without getting married on paper. It's a lot less expensive when you break up. But speaking of expensive, it seems like he does have a lot of money, and he seems to think that the money will appease the families that he's not giving his attention to, as if the money is a substitute for that attention and for that love. And to your point, Sharon, you mentioned vulnerability. Loving someone and allowing yourself to be loved by that person is a very vulnerable experience, and deciding to go all in on a life with another person is scary as hell, right? You don't have to tell me. Most people, however, do not get married with the intention of getting a divorce. It's fine and normal to be scared when you're about to get married or commit to any kind of relationship, but you have to eventually overcome your fears for the sake of progressing in your own life. But he has now involved 8 children and counting, I guess, in his own dysfunction. So that's more what I have a problem with.
Wow. And that's pretty much what she was saying to him. It's not good for you either, Cam. And by the way, you're not undecided. You are decidedly making choices for these children and these women and yourself and your own relationships with them. That's what she was saying. And I'd like to see Cam grow. I'd like to see him mature and face more of his fears. You're right. Give him credit for saying what he's afraid of and volunteering that. But now what are you going to do about it on behalf of these beings you created, who also deserve to have access to each other? And I'm speaking out of turn. I don't know. Maybe the kids see each other all the time. The odds are against that, but it's simple mathematics. 24 hours in a day, there's only one you. You're a public person. You have commitments. These things are just facts. So I hope some of this will resonate with the famous Cam Newton.